Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Good morning, Andy, and special good morning to the Oklahoma City Thunder for pulling their heads out of their asses and stopping the insane streak that was just dogs running hot in the NBA. I enjoyed the nightcap.
Running amok.
I'll tell you that much. Celtics, on the other hand, they got some soul searching to do here, man. 0-2 down is pretty fascinating. I want to just kind of rip through some of the NBA series, and then I want to talk to you about movies and TV a little bit, and then maybe just touch some of the other bases. What else is going on that you're betting right now? What are you thinking about? The Celtics. You want to
real
start there?
quick. So dogs are doing well
Yes.
in this round,
but not in this playoffs, right?
But no, the net point differential is still in favor of the favorites,
right?
Because those other 6 games were won by a combined like 30 points.
Yes.
And yes, Oklahoma City.
That's a lesson in looking at median and not average.
Yeah. There's a fun. I was like, God, it's like all close games. Then we had like a 43-point win. And yeah, there was a couple bigger ones. I guess Indiana beat Cleveland by 9 in that first one. Timberwolves lost by 11, but all the other ones are like 1-2 points. So, and I want to bet. I didn't have a lot of action this week, but I did go find that on Bet Builder. The chat. Thank you, B-Rad, for pointing me towards the chat rather than God. Who's the other big man?
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein, I believe, fell short by like a hook. I think he had 8.
He had 8.
I think they're both 8.5, 9.5, somewhere in there. Like minus money for 8.5, plus money for 9.5. But it was a game where I think they played like 25 minutes apiece as well because of.
They still got beat on the glass, by the way. Like the starters for Denver were still just eating on the glass. Aaron Gordon getting 5, Jokic got 3, Murray got 2, Porter got 1. No Christian. They finally stopped the unbelievable offensive rebounding of Christian Braun, but otherwise they still got beat. Chet gets his number with only 26 minutes, but there's not much to say there. That's actually the least interesting series right now. I have OKC as minus 685 to win this series. I have them minus 5.6 to win game 3. I think they ultimately likely win 4-1. Next most likely win 4-2. Next most likely win 4-3. Next most likely Denver wins 4-2 or 4-3. So a lot of still tilted in favor of Oklahoma City for me. And probably I did already bet them in game 3. I'm going to go back to the well and bet them in game 4. All right. The Celtics, more interesting to talk about. Let's touch some bases here. My fare for that series right now is Knicks minus 113. Pretty close to market. Not a huge advantage to take the Celtics right now is kind of where I'm at. My game 3 price is Boston minus 2.6. So forced to the fire and forced to put my hand into the fire in game 3, I would be taking the points with the Knicks again. This would be 3 in a row. I still am not sure why we're not adjusting the Celtics for the way that they're playing right now. And honestly, like what I test, to me, it doesn't feel like the Celtics are really doing a very good job of passing the basketball. It's almost like they've kind of completely reverted into 3 years ago's ISO-centric Tatum, Brown, your turn, my turn type of basketball, as opposed to the extra pass, get the open look from 3. And that might just be because of the way that the Knicks are defending them and the fact they have so much length and their wings are really good defenders. So if this ultimately becomes an upset, this goes it down, in my opinion, thanks to the fact that OG Anunoby and Miles Bridges are long, elite wing defenders who really, really caused problems for the Celtics passing lanes and really forced them into a style of basketball that they're bad at playing. What do you think?
I agree, because I don't know any better. I do. I am going to probably bug you a lot in the next couple weeks about basketball stuff
Yeah.
because I don't know. I'm spending time on football right now. I want to talk to you off air about that, about some possible
Ooh,
long
nice.
we do. And I'm spending obviously the same amount of time I usually do on golf.
Cool.
But it feels like I just no desire to bet baseball, obviously. I'll degen it with some friends. I'll tail somebody if they, have a hot prop or a, inside info on a pitcher that's going to be, limited to an innings limit, and it's not widely known in the market. Like, that's my baseball betting in a nutshell, I guess. But I want something for the summer that's just not straight up golf every Thursday. So I'm starting to look at WNBA. I'm going to be the asshole,
Nice.
the asshole who bets at opener, because I don't give a fuck about the rest of you. Sorry, get better, get sharper. So I'm digging in a little. I'm spending some time on that. We'll see how it goes. It's probably going to be break even, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Setting to break even this year and improve on for next year.
Let me know if you can find useful player ratings for women's players, because that's always stopped me from really getting too heavily involved.
I think I'm going to have to come up with my own based on it's just going to have to be. I know, but the thing is, there's just not that many teams. It's a little easier. You don't have as many teams, and they don't carry as many players.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's going to be shitty player ratings, and you're going to have to heavily rely on offensive stuff, because what stats are out there besides steals and blocks for defense that's, widely available without scraping, I don't know what, fucking player locations on the court kind of stuff, that level of that probably doesn't exist for WNBA. I don't know what, if you had to make your own defensive player rating for a basketball player, what would you do?
I would go to basketball-reference.com/WNBA, and I would try to look at their advanced defensive rating numbers for per players, because that's kind of the closest you can get to sort of box score plus minus.
Yeah.
Without kind of accounting for who else is on the court and all that type of shit.
You can do plus minus and take out their offensive stuff, and I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be fun. A lot of it is just going to be curling. Curling's
already
got that under. Yeah. Curling's
already
got that underhand.
I'll be at curling, by the way, next February. Did I tell you that? I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm
gonna try to go to some
Diampazo.
I think there's going to be some qualification stuff coming up now.
Cool. Probably in Minnesota.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have numerous curling. What do you call it? I mean, they're all in hockey rinks, guys. So yeah, yeah. Most of them are just in hockey rinks. 6 blocks from me, there's a curling club. I've gone and watched curling there before. So it's in Sioux Falls, says Corey. Cool. Honestly, Sioux Falls isn't a bad little town.
Yeah, you should definitely go see it. I could if
curling's kind of low key fun.
They did swimming what do you call it? Olympic qualifier for swimming, and they had the meet in Long Beach back in 2004 for Greece, and that was a one-of-one experience.
Maybe they'll do curling at the Lucas Oil again. Just like they had the swimming pool. Fuck, they can put anything in there. A combine, a swimming pool, football, right. It doesn't matter.
All right, let's keep touching some bases here. So as it stands with the 2 series we saw last night, I think Oklahoma City runs away. I think Boston's in deep fucking trouble. And here's some fun numbers. Ready? My most likely outcome for Boston next series is that Boston wins 4-2, which is funny because they're down 0-2. That would be echoes of when they went down 0-2 to Jimmy Butler's Bulls back in the day. Do you remember that? Butler won 2 in a row in Boston with the Bulls, and then the Celtics came back and won 4-2 with Rajon Rondo and who's the little guy? Isaiah Thomas. I think he was on that team. Anyway,
was Derrick Rose alive at that point?
No.
That's Derrick Rose shot was 10 years ago, man.
It was not recent at all. Yes.
It's crazy how recent that feels in my mind.
It's so far away that I don't even know what you're talking about. The most likely I have is Celtics winning 4-2. Second most likely I have is Celtics winning 4-3. But that is basically neck and neck with Knicks sweeping. like these next two games are coin flippy as hell. Celtics are 58% chance to win game 3, which is it's probably going to be kind of right around there for game 4 for me as well, as barring any injury. I don't think Porzingis is coming back to save your ass. They just have to just play better offense. And I don't even know if that's possible because this could just be the nature of the series given the length that the Wings have for the Knicks and that they're a bad matchup. So I don't know. Brown seems fucked. Porzingis seems fucked. Let's move on to Cleveland Indy. So rumor on the street, we will see Darius Garland get a full complement of minutes tonight. Apparently that's happening, but 50-50 on both DeAndre Hunter and even more importantly, Evan Mobley. So it's not like the defense is just all of a sudden going to show up for the Cavaliers in this contest. So Indiana is going to get theirs. This kind of has a same game parlay feeling of Indiana money line with Donovan Mitchell 50 plus points, where you literally just get Mitchell full on fucking hero ball, gets everything he wants all night long, and then they still manage not quite to get done. That's tomorrow. Sorry. Thank you, Ryan. Tonight we only have your Timber Puppies against the Curryless Warriors. Thank you. That series is very, very tough to price. My fare right now is Indiana minus 149, but all of a sudden, if you blink and you have a healthy Cleveland team, and their rating goes up, then that flips to like Cleveland should be a pick 'em in the series. So of like the series prices that are up, the one that is like begging to be bet is Cleveland plus 155. But until they're healthy, I don't think you can touch that. All that said, Thunder to win the title is like the most mispriced number in the entire market right now, and it's not close. Like very real chance that they draw. There's a 50, not 50, quite 50. There's a 30-ish, 33, 35-ish % chance they draw a completely battered and gassed Warriors team for the Western Conference Finals, and then like the Knicks or the Pacers in the finals, which is a hilarious path for the Thunder to win their first title, as opposed to having to slay a fellow super team. So Thunder to win the title is a misprice right now for me. But I'm not going to add any because I have a lot.
I was going to say maybe I add some. I'm not sitting on any of this. I'm sitting here. I'm half listening because I've Ticketmaster open looking at.
Nice. Good job.
12 different sessions. It is $225 for the full 12 session pass.
At Sioux Falls?
At Sioux Falls. It is over 5 days.
When?
It's at the Denny.
December?
Yeah, November 11th
November.
through the 15th, I think it said. The Denny Sanford Premier Center, home of the Summit League championships, when they have their March Madness conference tournaments. It's a good little place. Great shitty Midwestern town, Sioux Falls. Like, it's not big, but it's not small, and it has enough going on where it has some half decent restaurants in it, and there's a nice waterfalls. It's called Falls Park.
Cool.
Remember, we that was a place we went. We were traveling during COVID, and it was like the first time we're like, oh man, what sounds good? Eating out, because we haven't done that in like 2 months. So we went to like a drive-through and ate at Falls Park, and it just hit hard. Like, oh my God, I miss this. I just miss having, someone else prepare food for me. So love you, Sioux Falls. I might go out for like the finals or something. That's a fun, stupid trip out to South Dakota.
Do it.
My wife can always be talked to going in to go see family.
Yeah. Wanted to touch base on the conclave update. We do not have a new pope yet. We are still hopeful that it is the Jean-Marc Aveline Pope John the 24th.
Long shot.
That's our hopeful parlay. And again, by the way, our French friend who tipped us off, hat tip to you for getting PSG into the Champions League final. He was all over PSG at 20-1. Takes on Inter. I forgot I had a windfall when I looked at my account yesterday. I forgot I had Inter to make the final from like betting it in like February. So that was a nice surprise. I was watching Inter Barca, like, God damn it, this is so good. I forgot what it was like watching sports without any skin in the game. I forgot I had Inter to make the final. It was embarrassing, but that was fun. All right, so I don't have any early thoughts on Champions League final, but we'll save that for a later deep dive daily as we get deeper into May.
Yeah. Not betting the Twins like show. I just have the hat. Grabbed a hat this morning. Hair wasn't looking so good. Derek Rose, 3-pointer, buzzer beater, Cavs conference finals. I sent you the video.
I'll look at it.
I'm sure you remember. Once you watch it, you'll remember.
I must have been on vacation, man. I'm a shoulder season vacationer, so there were a lot of years before I really cared about NBA where I was just gone in May. You know,
it was like a big Bulls moment. Obviously, we've had the run in the 90s, but then they were.
I was in the Virgin Islands. I was in the Virgin Islands when the Thunder choked the 3-1 lead against the Warriors. I was in.
Funny enough, I was in
Hawaii.
I was in Sioux Falls. I can remember like somebody was texting me, and somebody really liked the Thunder that day and convinced me to go big on them in like maybe it was the game 6 or game 7, and I went pretty big and like nervous amounts of money for what I was betting back then. I'm like, oh my God. And we were at like the Children's Museum or something, and I'm tracking the score. It must have been, maybe it was a game 6. It was like an afternoon game or something weird. It was somewhere in that series, but it was definitely that one where they came back to 3-1, which is honestly would have been the best series in all of the playoffs if it weren't for the finals, obviously, which trumped it quite easily. Yeah, and Donaldson says last relevant Bulls moment, probably.
I made a case with our friend Jay on the NBC content yesterday for Mikko Rantanen as your what is it? What's the trophy? Conn Smythe. As Conn Smythe, and then he goes out and hits the hat trick. So I was going to bring that up, and no, well, that's probably baked in.
That number has moved.
That has moved. It was 12-1 at one point, though, if you were curious. We also talked real quickly on French Open, kind of it tied into Rome yesterday when we were talking tennis, and I didn't have bookmaker odds up for the women's for whatever reason. They were gone. And so I didn't really have a reference point, but I've seen some prices recently. I kind of can't believe Iga is still the favorite she is. She right now is rating as the second best woman on clay, and she is so far off her peak from last year. You want to guess what I would make Iga 2024 head to head against Iga 2025?
Minus 225.
Oh man, you are very close. Minus 240. Very, very close. Last year's Iga was like pretty much on her peak. This year's is nowhere close. And also, she may not get the second seed. Like Sabalenka has to be a bet if you find anything in the ballpark of 3-1. She's your top women's clay player right now. And I think you just put that in your pocket, wait for the draw, and then scoop some long shots. That's kind of my read on the women's side.
The Rome futures are down right now where I'm looking.
Everything's close.
I was gonna do a Rome men's winner, women's winner, Pope.
Oh, okay.
Triple Rome. Yeah.
I like it. The Rome.
What's the name of Center Stadium there? It's got a fun Italian name.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. I like the show courts better than the center court. Rome Tennis Center Court.
Bupadabecco.
No, that's
I still like that. There's a cardinal named Pizza Balla. I'm just dying of that guy. He's like third favorite. The weirdest thing is there is not a ton of movement, but there is movement on Pope stuff on Polymarket.
Stadio Centrale.
Yeah, there you go. And it's not like there's information rolling out. The only thing I can think of is people have some sort of thesis on the more times we vote, the more likely this guy is to overtake this guy, because there's been some movement among the top 4 and there's no information coming out.
The Giro starts this weekend. I didn't know that. I
We
didn't have
both
a
hit it at
read.
the same time.
I didn't really have a read. I don't really have a read on IUSO. I got to look at that market a little bit closer. I'm just waiting for the French Open and another bite at the apple for Tadej Pogacar, who looks like he's in unreal form as long as he doesn't get hurt between now and then. All right, let's talk a little pop culture here. Had a
Talk
fun
about
flight home. We're
pop
in the
music.
golden age of television. My goodness gracious, man! There
There's a lot
is
of
so much good shit on right now. It's
Reacher,
crazy.
Pit.
Yeah, how are you caught up with both this?
I have not started the Pit. My wife is
Oh.
taking a Grey's Anatomy break
Okay.
after season 8. She says, I'm going to take a little break. She she watched season 2 of Yellow Jackets without me. And now she's like, well, there's a new season. And I want to wait. So I caught up on that. So we're going to probably watch this season of Yellow Jackets and then slide into the Pit. I watched the first season of Reacher. When I get time, I'll catch up more on those.
Yep.
That's a fun one because it's like, God, what are some of the ones that we've had like heavy, like White Lotus,
Yeah.
or some of the ones where there's subtlety to it and subtitles, and you can't do a second device on some of that. Whereas like Reacher, you can be on your laptop doing some work. You can have your phone up texting.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate like Gen Z. I'm gonna fuck around and have this kind of going in the background, like it's a sitcom kind of thing. So I enjoy a little lighter lift like that. But
I dig it. Yeah, no, I mean we're in the golden age, man. It's so good. There's so much good stuff to watch. It's a little outrageous, right?
I had an embarrassing
Last
last
of
night.
Us running. We got Andor season 2, which I have not started yet, but I honestly, I'll be honest with you, I loved Andor season 1. That was the best show of the year it came out. I don't think that's even arguable. And it took so long for season 2 to come out, and there was so much like kind of negative buzz around the production of it. And I still don't even really know why, but so I was a little bit like, my expectations were cool that season 2 is going to even live up to season 1, let alone exceed it. And I got to tell you that the buzz from these last 2 episodes,
people are pumped. Yeah,
people are pumped. So I am now very excited to get into Andor. I'm probably going to start that next week for me and blitz through. The Last of Us obviously has taken a questionable turn. Spoiler alert: if you're not caught up on Last of Us, just turn off the podcast now. The decision that they made plot wise for season 2 was literally like, well, I woke up the next day and I was like, why am I even watching this now? Like the best character in the show's now no longer part of it. Like there's no reason for me to even tune in. Like I kind of don't care. But I thought they did a decent job of rescuing it, and like the change of scenery and seeing more of like the world that exists is
introducing some new groups. I suppose I don't want to spoil it too much. And also I have no idea if it's like, because it's like when I watched Game of Thrones, like, all right, here's where we deviated from the books. I'm sure I would have heard more about it, but I think they're just kind of sticking to the plot of the video games.
Well, what I
don't know. Like I feel like I feel like it's just written for them. Well, here's a cut scene where they do this, and the next mission is to go to Seattle. Yeah, and I think they're just kind of following that. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. If they're deviating from the gameplay too much, but
don't know.
I think that's kind of what they're doing. I still haven't seen Thunderbolts. I'm going to try to do that this weekend.
Well, I wanted to kind of comment on one thing on Last of Us. So after the big kind of plot shift, I was like, I gotta go back and watch the beginning of season 1. Not just needed to kind of touch the bases of why I was especially connected to the character. And like, was it as good as I remember? Like that was kind of what was in my head. And I got to tell you, man, that first 3 arc, I know now what happened. Now that we're kind of in season 2, and we've seen
he's not likable to start.
Well, they wrote a 3 episode arc, right? That got greenlit. And you see this a lot with prestige television, where they're not just going to greenlight a pilot. You got to have like 3 episodes that really like blow someone out of the water to get a green light for your project, right? And the first 3 episodes of season 1 were just they are unbelievable. Like even if you just read a plot summary and don't rewatch those episodes, it's unbelievable how much plot they pack into that 3-episode arc. It's so good, and the world building is so good, and the character building is so good. And then yeah, I would say hold that up against any 3-episode arc of even your favorite, your whatever the best 3-episode arc of The Leftovers was in your opinion, right? Like hold it up against it was so good. Anyway,
I'm agreeing with you, kind of saying the same thing but differently. It when exposition feels effortless,
yeah,
and it doesn't feel like forced, like, all right, now we have to go meet this person, now we have to go figure out why this person's doing this, and this person, silly lines and silly dialogue that is clearly just there to explain stuff. Like, it just felt like effortlessly put into, why we're here with the, the flashback to start things, and then into the present / whatever, probably future.
It's crazy if you try to remember what happens at the beginning of season 1, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's no way they compressed that into 3 episodes. They did? Like, wow.
And honestly, if I had to go watch one episode back, it would be none of those.
Really? Which one's your favorite?
Would for sure be the gay dudes episode.
That's the third one.
Is that the third? Okay, I thought that was fourth. Well, that's what I'm saying. To your point.
Exactly.
To your point. Okay.
Like, how in the world did they compress all that?
I don't know the guy's name, but Murray from White Lotus season 1. No, the other guy.
The other guy. That's Bill or Frank or whichever.
Yeah, that's Frank. That's Murray from the White Lotus season 1.
Is?
Yes. What? Yeah,
wow.
He was sun running at that point. He was
excellent.
No, that one's so good with Offerman and him and then meeting Joel and them. That's the best episode.
That arc was absolutely awesome. Okay, Patrick, I agree with his recommendation. I started watching Your Friends and Neighbors. I'm through 3 episodes so far. I don't know where this season 1 is going to land, so I can't give it 2 thumbs up recommendation yet until we know where season 1 is going. But you get great. You're getting peak John Hamm in television, in prestige television. Driving around a Maserati and stealing watches. Like, it's fucking amazing. Excited to get into Mobland. I have not gotten into that.
Is that
there's great acting in that? Tom
Hardy's
Hardy? In that. Hardy.
I'll watch anything with Tom Hardy in it.
Yep.
He was my favorite character in Peaky Blinders, and it wasn't close.
Yes.
He's been so good in everything.
He's like he's definitely in the discussion for top 15 working actors right now. If he wasn't such an asshole to Charlize Theron, he'd probably be top 10.
Throw out what you've seen of Your Friends and Neighbors, because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
What's your second favorite John Hamm performance?
Fletch.
That's a good call. He's pretty good at that.
He's kind of the perfect Fletch. There was like a teaser on my Google News feed this morning of Fletch and Slatery in some new show with Zoe Deutsch, who is the gal from Everybody Wants Some. And I was like, oh, please tell me they made another Fletch with Hamm and Slatery as the.
I'd watch that today.
I'd watch that today. I'd put it on tonight. But it was not. What's your second favorite John Hamm?
Honestly, that's a good call.
Fargo?
I was gonna say
Fargo was.
He's very good. He's good in Fargo. He's
good
he's very
evil.
He's good in Baby Driver. It's kind of a bad guy.
I forgot he was in that. Yeah, he is.
And then, but honestly, as a bit of like a comedic foil and a dumbass, he's good as in the cameo in 30 Rock.
He's good in camera. Yeah, but as the shitty admiral in Maverick. He rocks.
Oh yeah,
he's just fucking easy. His 30 Rock arc was great too.
This is another one. I'm
just glad he's getting work. Love that guy.
I'm not sure I'm caught up on Handmaid's Tale. That's another one where it's like heavy, and I watch like one season at a time and take a break.
Yeah, too much. Yeah. The Last of Us is like dystopian future that feels just a little unrealistic. Handmaid's Tale is dystopian future that feels a little too realistic. All right, the last kind of
John Hamm and Bridesmaids. Good call, Patrick. That was a good cameo as well.
He's very good.
You're not my number 3 anymore.
He's running a lot of that back in Friends and Neighbors, honestly. It's except he's getting punched, which makes it fun. All right. Movies, caught 2 movies on the flight that I wanted your opinion on. Finally watched the Bob Dylan, Timothée Chalamet, Complete Unknown. I was very, very against ever watching this movie because I don't like Bob Dylan and I don't like Timothy Chalamet that much. And I was like, okay, I got nominated, blah, blah, blah. And I made friends with a woman who was dating one of the guys we were hanging out with at the Derby, who was just an absolute, just a ray of light. Great, great hanging out with Naomi, if you were curious. And her dad was in Dylan's circle and just talking up, like all of this experience and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, well, I see this is on Southwest Flying Home. It's meant to be. I'm just going to watch this. And the movie exceeded my expectations by so much I couldn't even put a number on it. It was absolutely awesome. If you're looking for a watch and it's available to stream, that is a must press play. I like movies like that in general, where it's like biopic that's done well. And this is made by the same guy that did Walk the Line. And it has it feels a lot like Walk the Line, honestly. And the takeaways I thought were all very reasonable and correct, in that Dylan was this kind of a person, but he is like an absolute fucking one of one genius when it came to songwriting. And I don't know, it far surpassed my expectations, and I turned it off and I was like, oh man, Chalamet should have won Best Actor. That was pretty fucking good. That was pretty fucking good. If
we talked about this off air, right? That's when we talked.
I don't remember.
Because I was in the same boat. I said this to you, like, I wasn't gonna pay $30 plus popcorn to go watch this in the theater. When it popped up on demand, I'm not going to pay $20. But when it was like, oh, it's free, like, I'll stream it. And same thing. It's like, fuck, Ed Norton was so good.
Mhm.
Chalamet was so good. The girl who played Baez was so good.
Yeah.
Everybody was whichever Fanning girl it was pretty decent.
Yes.
Like
yes.
everybody kind of hit their notes. And I guess I'm from Minnesota, so like we just know these. Like,
the background, the
story. Yeah, it's like a kid's. That's your fairy tales at night. Let's tell you the story about when Dylan went electric, kids.
Dude, that I knew that was the arc, and I was still surprised. I was like, what? He's really gonna do this? Oh my god! But the best part of the movie, I honestly, they kind of blow it out too early. Like when he goes and sees what he go through in the hospital at the beginning, it's just like, holy shit. Like, is this true? This isn't true? And it is. And you're just like, how in the fuck? Like, that's absolutely wild. And that's a great scene. And if you're gonna give Rami Malek an Oscar for playing Freddie Mercury, if you're gonna give Reese Witherspoon a June Carter Oscar, that you cannot leave out Chalamet for doing what he did for Dylan. He was very, very, very good. So little bit of Academy's going to regret this in a few years, I think. Giving Adrian.
I enjoy those episodes.
Okay. Anyway,
I enjoy those episodes of whatever movie podcasts they do with Simmons, where they relitigate the Oscars from a few years ago, because there's a lot that are like, oh yeah, that was
the year movie.
What were they thinking?
Right, on the big picture? I do love
it's funny too. I was on Highway 61 the other day.
Oh really? Revisit it. All right,
revisit it. It's just it's the river road. If you go to Winona, you're gonna end up on it.
I love it. One other recommendation movie that I streamed while I was traveling on Peacock was Black Bag. Now
this is the one I wanted to write down.
This one is British spy. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff feels like a play, like Locked Room, like 6 characters, and Fassbender and Cate Blanchett are your leads. Although honestly, there was not nearly enough Cate Blanchett. And maybe a hair too much Michael Fassbender for my taste, because he's just kind of a little boring. He's like a less charismatic. Who's our most recent Superman? Henry Cavill. He's like a less charismatic Henry Cavill. And honestly, like, it was a good story. Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed too, because people built this one up a lot, I thought, and it was a good story. It was a fun kind of interesting roller coaster ride. It was honestly the only movie that I've seen in the last 10 years where I was like, it was a little too short. It's like 90 minutes. They could have stretched it out a little bit and given us a little more of Kate Blanchett doing cool shit, but she was somewhat wasted. But Black Bag available on Peacock is a good it's a good 90-minute time killer if you got a short flight to kill, I think. Anyway, Complete Unknown was pretty special watch though.
Sure.
Probably not going to rewatch that for a while, but glad I saw it.
No, it doesn't feel like a rewatch for me. It was good though. Same thing with like Sinners. I don't know if I'd ever like sit and watch that when it came back. That was a good theater experience. Theater was packed.
Dude, is it a must see in a theater? Because it takes me a lot now.
I don't know. Like for me, must see in a theater kind of means like big world. Yeah, well, filmed for IMAX. It's a big, breathtaking blockbuster film. This one was more of the atmosphere in the theater, kind of like the Minecraft movie. I'm glad I went to that with my kid, like, because it was wild. The people acted up in the theater, and I didn't care because it's not like, hey, shh, Ed Norton's talking. I want to hear what he has to say. It's like, yeah, it's fine. You can cheer for Jason Momoa at this point. I'm probably going to go to Thunderbolts in the theater. I enjoy going to the theater, and it's not far. So I like our theater. We don't have a rundown old one. It was recently built. It feels bad when you go to like an older theater and be like, man, especially when you've been to the ones that have like the full ass recliners and everything's new. Like I can't go to the one across town. So I'm probably going to go to Thunderbolts / New Avengers. Haven't watched a lot at home, but I am basically, I'm like 3/4 through DiMaggio's hitting streak with my youngest kid as far as picking a movie and him being like, well, I don't want to watch this. And then 20 minutes later, he loves it. And it's like a running gag at the house. I'm like, buddy, you're going to like this. And then he gets mad. And I'm like, told you. And he's like, yeah, you always do this. And we started, this was a very embarrassing moment for me because I'm usually good with actors and actresses. Started Fly Away Home last night with early 90s, a kid and a unlikely animal friend, which was a big thing with, you had Andre and you had, just the Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web, all that jazz. I swore it was the same girl from My Girl. And me and my wife are going back and forth. It is not.
Anna Chlumsky?
I mixed up Anna Chlumsky and Anna Paquin. And I feel horrible.
The girl from the piano and the girl from My Girl are not the same girl. You're right. No. Rogue and
Rogue. She's one of the.
Veep?
She was in Veep. Yeah, she took a big break. Went to school. Went to college. She's in Veep, but she was. God, that's a good call, Patrick. He loved Indiana Jones. He probably liked National Treasure. She was in. Anna Paquin was one of the groupies in Almost Famous. Whereas Anna Chlumsky was not.
That's true. All right. Well, I am excited to see Sinners at some point, but I'm going to wait for it. I don't think I'm going to go to the movie theater. I'll make a market at some point of next movie I see in the theaters because there's a bunch that are coming out this year that are probably worth it, like the last Mission Impossible one, and
probably gonna do that. Those are good movies.
There's a couple more that I remember on my radar that are gonna be maybe worth seeing in the theater this year. But I'm with Patrick. You have to drag me. I'm fine watching it on my phone, even if it's one that the sound and the video is unmatchable on the big screen.
Yeah, my wife really likes Jurassic. She likes Jurassic Park movies. We'll probably see that new one in the theater. There's going to be, the one with ScarJo. She likes those. And this is not a movie theater. I have to see it in the movie theater because of the experience. One, but I think I'm going to go see it because I'm antsy to see it, is when the Liam Neeson Naked Gun remake comes out.
Oh, I would not have predicted you.
Would not have guessed that. But it looks good, and he's sneaky funny. If anybody hasn't seen the clip of him and Ricky Gervais and Merchant and Warwick Davis, and he walks in, what is it? I don't remember the show. Gervais did a few shows with those guys, and he walks in and he wants to do improv with them. And I won't even spoil it. It's like a 4-minute clip. Go look up Liam Neeson improv with Ricky Gervais, and just fucking. I
Great
bet I watch that
funnel
clip like once. I watch that once a month.
I love it. Wow, that's a lot, but I'm gonna go track it down. All right, good, perfect bow there.
A funny little bit part in Ted too.
All right, man. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll fuck around.